Feeling is the secret, but not the temporary human emotions and fleeting human feelings of you feeling sad or you feeling good or you feeling some type of way. I've been doing coaching practice for some time now, and I hear this so many times that, oh, one day I just wake up sad and tired and exhausted, and then I feel like I'm out of the state. And they say, I've been making so much progress, I've been doing so good, but then I felt a certain type of way, I felt exhausted, something triggered me and I fell out of the state. So what they actually mean is they were feeling good, and when they felt bad, they were anchoring their state of being with the temporary human feelings, and when those feelings, of course, they are fleeting, so they will always betray you, often betray you. And when they felt betrayed by the feelings, they thought that they are not in the state. Well, I've been studying Neville Goddard for so long now, 7-8 years, and what he actually means is different. And also, people just read his law of assumption content, they watch some videos, they just read a little bit of sats and they think that's his entire message, while they forget the main thing. Even in my coaching, I hear a lot of you guys talking about the story, talking about how some victim mentality, some situations, some events, everything outside of you, basically external, and you're trying to manifest something out there. Well, Neville Goddard says there's no one and nothing to change but self, and your own wonderful human imagination is God. So even feelings, imagination, everything derives its power from something else. Sats are just tools, feelings and emotions and affirmations and imagination and scripting and all these inner conversations. They're all secondary cause. They are tools. They are tools to get you familiar with your desired reality, but they derive their power from something else. What is that something else? That is what everybody misses. Which is, you are an individualized aspect of God having a temporary human experience. Now Goddard says God became man so that man may become God. It is your Christ self. I know there is a dogma attached to the word Christ, to the word Jesus, to the word God. People have, because of religious interpretations, it's so wrong, it's so messed up, that people have a lot of resistance knowing themselves as that power who creates reality. So let me make it more neutral by saying that you are reality, the whole of it, all of it. Now I understand with the human ego it's extremely difficult to own up the whole thing, and we just, we want to accept some but not all of it. I understand that. But let me not sugarcoat my words, right? I am sort of on the role of giving no BS videos, right? No BS. I want to give it raw and simple. So, as long as you look at something external and you think it's outside of you, you cannot manifest it. Or you will manifest some of it, some hot and cold behavior, especially with SPs. You will get something, not other things. You will never have a consistent, good human experience where you consistently get things that you want, because you are not owning up your complete power. And when Neville Goddard says feeling is the secret, he is not talking about human emotions. He said it is the acceptance of the fact that your desire is already fulfilled. How the hell is it already fulfilled? Because you are one with God. Your Christ self already has it, right? Or your inner being already has it. That's why it's fulfilled. If you think from your human logical mind, you will never be able to attain that feeling fully unless you suspend judgment, unless you suspend reason. And you can only suspend reason by actually understanding how reality works, how this whole damn thing is being externalized and experienced by you. It's a projection from within. Neville Goddard says there is no one and nothing to change but self. Everybody is you pushed out. His entire so-called thesis or his entire research is based on the fact that you are experiencing yourself, and God is within you, God is one with you, it's all you, right? He often quoted this Bible scripture verse that I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. So you are one with the Father, you are one with the whole of it, but you are your Father is greater. So you are having your own personalized experience as an individualized aspect of God. But you're also one with the Father. What does that even mean? It means that nothing is outside of you, nothing is outside of your sphere of influence. And he said something like, if it takes 10,000 men to do something to get what you want, they will do it. They will move under compulsion. How the hell is that possible if it is all outside of you, right? So this, I know it's a big leap of faith. Some people have a hard time conceptualizing it. They have a lot of story built up. They have a lot of experiences that they feel a victim to, so they just cannot push themselves to take this leap. I understand it. But I want to give you no BS interpretation, and from a personal experience, and from my coaching practice. By the way, if you want to work with me one-on-one, the link is in the description, or you can join the membership channel where I answer all your questions in depth, repeatedly, again and again. Doesn't matter how many times you ask them, link is in the description. So the fact is this: feeling is the secret, but is the feeling of the acceptance of the fact that your desire is already fulfilled. Confident expectation. I think Neville Goddard used this word as well. Confident expectation. Something like this. I'm not exactly sure, but it was something like, basically you are expecting now it to show up. And then he would quote this Bible verse, where scripture verse, where each seed has its own appointed hour. If it be late, do not fear, it will not be late. Something like it will flower, it will bloom on its own appointed time. Now, when I say time, then you guys immediately think, well, how long is going to take? That's your ego talking. When you embody the state, it's instant. The shift and the bridge of incidence has already been built. The shift within your consciousness is instant. Now you say that you have it, and you confidently expect it, that it's going to show up anyway. I don't even care when it shows up, because I have it, right? This brazen impotence and this confident expectation. And what is this confident expectation built upon? This is where you guys always seem to be lacking, and myself included. I catch myself often that, what the hell am I doing? Why am I not embodying the whole of it? Why am I cherry picking, and when something good shows up, I say that I created it. When something bad shows up, I do not take accountability for it, right? So I catch myself doing that as well sometimes, but more so with practice, I realize that it is all me, right? It is all me. And so how the hell can you expect it to show up with your human consciousness, right? You will never be able to expect it, because you will be like, where is it? You will look for signs first of all, then you will be like, is it coming? It will be hard for you to believe, it will be hard for you to even accept the fact that you are all that is. This is why you must understand how reality works and learn the first principles. It's not even about learning or studying. They are very simple. It's just that we do not accept them. Unity consciousness, Neville Goddard never explicitly said it, but his entire teaching is about unity consciousness. There is just one mind. The Father does all the work. You are individualized aspect of the same Father, having your own unique experience. And when you say something is true, you assume it and you accept as true. Father says yes, and the bridge is already built. It's instant. It's instant. The path towards is already built, and this path is not physical, it's mental. It's all, everything exists in potential. Creation is finished. It's all here, it's all now. So when you say you are something, as Christ said, let the weak man say I am strong. Well, the weak man was still weak, but the moment he claims that I am strong, he is strong in the fourth dimension of self, his higher self. The Father has said yes, and the path is built, and naturally he will become strong from here on out, naturally, right? Something will happen and he will become strong. But Let's say the weak man says, but I still feel weak, but I still feel sad. Well, he's anchoring himself on the most fleeting human experience, which is feelings. He will never feel strong that way. He has to assume that he is strong, and the feelings of being strong, if he confidently expects it now, the feelings of being strong will be given. That's a gift. Now you can alchemize yourself, as Abraham Hicks says, you can absolutely gradually guide yourself to raise your vibration to feel good. Absolutely you can do that. But a lot of people struggle with it because you know, they label it toxic positivity, even though that's not really the message of Abraham Hicks. It's very profound, and it's the same thing. Okay, everybody is saying you and telling you the same thing. It's just they do it at a different perspective. They have a little bit of different flavor to it, a little bit of different flair to it, but it's the same thing. That you are reality, experiencing yourself, and all these things that you think are outside of you, they are within. And it's very difficult for your ego mind to accept. And the whole so-called struggle is for you to either quiet your ego or make an agreement with it, right? Let it come to an agreement, and you can let it come to an agreement via inner conversations or assumptions or imagination or mental diet. There are scripting, there are so many tools and techniques. Or what I say, just decide, which is just an assumption that now I am this, and do not entertain anything otherwise. If it otherwise shows up, other feelings show up, feelings of weak man show up, thoughts of weak man show up, you see them for what they are. They are one potential, they're old man, as Bible says, they're the old self. You see them for what they are, your old assumptions that you do not embody anymore. Your power lies in the choice. And in that moment when you choose it, you still confidently expect that no, I am strong, is showing up, is here, is now, it's all here, it's happening for me right now, everything is working out for me right now. When you alchemize yourself like that, you will start to feel the feelings of being strong man, and then you will start to see the signs of being the strong man. Somebody will come up to you and tell you, man, you look good. Right? Something is changing within you. And or maybe you will feel what things will happen to make sure that you are the strong man, and the feelings will come. But what is in your control, the feeling that Neville Goddard was talking about, is not the temporary changing emotions and feelings. It was talking about acceptance of the fact that your desire is already fulfilled, and that acceptance can only be built upon the foundational teachings that I and my Father are one, and my Father is greater than I. I am all that is. There's no one and nothing to change but self. Everybody is you pushed out, right? These things, God became man so that man may become God. Your own wonderful human imagination is God. These teachings are the bedrock of everything else that he talks about. But people only take sats, they only take the surface level stuff, and then the surface level stuff, they apply it still thinking that things are outside of them and they will try to manifest them. They get some things, but then they lose them because they haven't changed themselves again. This often happens with specific person people. They affirm and imagine and they get the person, but their self-concept, their self is in shambles, is not good. They believe terrible about themselves, and then they lose that person. And then they manifest them back, and it's a toxic, very back and forth sort of a situation. And it exhausts them because the foundation is weak, right? Christ says something like, build your foundation about, build your church upon rock, something like that, right? Basically, rock is stable, it's not shaky, right? So your foundation has to be based upon the fact that I and my Father are one, and my Father is greater than I. My own wonderful human imagination is God, right? I am all that is. From the book The Kabbalion, it says the all is mind, the universe is mental, and the all is dreaming infinite dreams. And you are the all, and you're one with the all, and it's unity consciousness. And that's why all of it works. right? And you have complete dominion in your personal reality via your self-concept and your assumption. Now, it feels so out of control because you are a very complex being. You have thousands upon thousands of assumptions that you have built upon the course of your entire life. And all of you manifest, not just new assumptions that you are assuming, all of it manifests. Now, this does not mean that you exhaust yourself trying to heal yourself and trying to dig all those assumptions and try to change your temporary self-image into something, basically going about the long way. No, you assume the best about yourself now and it overrides all the old self-beliefs. For example, you now say that everything always works out for me, and it will get rid of all the beliefs like, oh, I never get enough money, or love never finds me, I am not worthy, nobody commits to me. If everything is always working out for you, you can hold this attention with harmony, like everything perfectly works out for me, then it's gonna work out for you. And you can say, my abundance is always increasing and I am a channel for divine abundance to be expressed, or love is easy for me, I'm irreplaceable. This general some assumption, and at the top of it you can say I am all that is, right? The super identity, the super assumption that overrides everything. And this is how you embody your super identity. And from there, all these other limiting beliefs, either they will show up, you will see them immediately in front of you, and then you can let them go by not identifying with them. Like some things like this comes about, like nobody loves me. You say, no, I'm all that is, so I'm all love. So how can nobody loves me? That's absurd, right? Or I never have enough money. You remind yourself, I'm all that is. I'm one with God, and God is literally all that is. How can I never have enough? It's absurd. It's impossible, right? Now, initially, again, it might feel fake because you're still identifying with the ego, and that's okay. You see it for what it is. Your little self trying to self-sabotage. As I recently made a video about your program that you are built upon years, it is the one that rejects, not your conscious mind. And once you see the program for what it is, it either it stops bothering you, or it fights harder, and when you release it, it goes away, right? So this is how it works. Now, so the feeling is the secret, and it is confident expectation that your desire is already fulfilled. Why? Because you're one with all that is, and Christ within has everything right now. It's all in your possession spiritually, and once you accept it, let the weak man say, I am strong. The strength is given, and the feelings of strength are given, and it naturally unfolds from there. So stop chasing feelings, temporary feelings of human emotions. See them for what they are. Anchor in your I am awareness, and that's your foundation built upon rock. That is not shaky. And then you will have an easier experience of things unfolding more naturally in your world, rather than the shaky, turbulent ways. So this is it for this video. Until next time, bye-bye.